But if you ask me, I don't really know, right? The only thing I know is that I saw this zone. So I must have marked it last week. I don't even know why I marked it, but I know I marked it. Yeah. Hello. Market broke, came back, respected, then came back here, took out this low. So it's really seemed like a very good buy zone. I bought, right? But now looking at this, I'm looking for, of course, if sister to give me a buy signal. Yeah, 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 yeah. I anticipated a gap up, right? But with everything I'm seeing, especially with the opening of the sorry, not opening, with the blocking of the Straits of Hormuz, yeah. I was like, okay, you know what? I think this market is gonna gap down and it's gonna affect what's it called? It's gonna affect the stocks too, right? The stocks behaved positively last week that it was open, right? But the week it was closed, all the time it was closed, the stocks were actually going down. Yeah, they were actually down, right? So if the stocks are gonna gap down, then gold perhaps might follow, right? Since US 30, Dow Jones, I'm not sure. Okay. Yeah, Dow Jones gapped down as well, and it hasn't even attempted to cover the gap at all, right? Yeah, okay. Actually, okay. Okay, it tried though, because it started buying from here. Right? Of course, it must have gone down a little bit, and we still have lots of this to cover. Unlike um last week that was so positive, right? We have this, then it covered. In fact, that same Monday, it made this whole move. In fact, it covered it by 3 p.m. So the question is, are we to see a similar thing this week? This is a 4 hours time frame. I hope to see something similar this week, right? So let's just watch and observe. Let's just watch and observe. That's just what it is. So back to gold, right? This guy is tanking, going down aggressively now, but we have this like a good support zone if I'm to mark it out. Let's see. Um, it's like a good support zone if I'm to mark it out, right? But let's just watch it. Okay, I have Princess here. So let's switch things up. Good morning, Princess. Um, let's actually work with what we have for today. So, Princess, I said I'm going to show you some things the next time you get on the call, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. All right, good morning. Good morning. So, um, I'm trying to actually get the topic for today, all right? But now I think I'll just talk about let me simply handle your questions, right? Let me simply handle your questions. I think that would do us more that would do us more good. Right. This is the 4 hours time, 1 hour time frame. This is that would do us more good, right? So drop those questions of yours. Let's handle it. Right. All those questions you had, just drop it. Drop it. Just drop it. Right. All those questions you had, just drop it. If I can remember one, how to use the tools, if I'm correct. You guys still going down. How to use the tools, if I'm correct. Right? How to use the tools. That's one of them, right? Then the rest, keep them coming. All right. So just type everything. Yeah. Let me not just go through uh, the course we have for today. Let me just um handle your questions. All right. We are all here to learn. Okay. Um, trying to 15 minutes time. So these are just two different time frames, basically. All right. So this one, I would rather be looking at it on the 4 hour time frame. I'll mark the low, then on 15 minutes time frame. So I'll start with this. If you're using a laptop here, these are basically your toolbars, right? And what I use mostly, in fact, you can actually drag, you can favorite right here, right click, you can hide favorite tools, right? You can add to your favorite tools, basically. If, let's say, tap on this arrow here, you can see any favorite tool you add is going to appear on this floating toolbar, right? So I add those I use mostly, right? My horizontal line, my horizontal ray, my trend line, of course. Then if I go to extensions, Fibonacci retracement, right? If I get to projections, forecasting, I have my long and my short. That's like long for, of course, to get this, short for the, looking for short movements, right? Then shape, basically this. That's all, right? I don't use much, right? So fib retracement, just that, okay? So for now, I'm looking at a market trending downwards right now. So to know how far this guy is gonna get to before retrace, I've already given a holistic view, right? I marked up a support zone, which I think the market shouldn't just break or should be reversing around this black line I marked. For it to make more sense, look at it on the 4 hours time frame, right? It is basically a support zone that the market has been respecting these guys for like the longest time, though it broke like so down aggressively and back up. So the market is visiting this same zone once again. So for the past, since Thursday last week, the market hasn't closed below this price, right? It's been visiting and, closing above. So one can say it's actually a very good um, support zone, all right? So I'm just showing you why I marked this area. So back to our 15 minutes, right? So for the Fibonacci, this is it, right? Now I have a low, right? And a high, right? If I mark, what I need to do is to mark this, just drag the low to my high. Now, all I'm looking for is a good retracement zone, okay? A good retracement zone. There's so many lines here. Let me just delete this so it doesn't confuse us, right? A good retracement zone. Now, when I talk about retracement, you can see here 50%, 60%. So with what I have here now, this price, the market would still drop to 4775 because I count this, right, as the Fibonacci golden zone, the area between 50% to 61.8%, right? I count this as the Fibonacci, what's it called? Um, golden zone, right? If I am to take a retracement buy, right, I would wait in here. I'll patiently wait for the markets in here. I'll set my what's it called? I'll set my buy limits inside this zone. Now, I wouldn't just see here, when using Fibonacci retracement, you wouldn't make sure it's at a price. You wouldn't just want to, okay, after drawing, you just take a buy or a sell as the case may be, right? You'd want to align it with other confirmations, right? So since we've gotten this zone, what are the other things that can still make the market come into this area? One, we have um FVG. We have series of FVG here anyway. We have like one, two, three, right? This is like the third FVG. And of course, okay, this one has been respected. We have this one right here. See, if you don't mind, I think I'll just delete this so it will stop distracting me. We have this one right here. So we can say that it wouldn't be bad if this market taps into this zone to continue buying again, right? Because if a gap is created, a gap has to be filled regardless. So I will simply wait for this market to tap into this area. Mind you, it might not, right? But the most healthy zone for this market to retrace into is this particular point. Now, here's another thing you need to know, right? When analyzing your market here, maybe the market hits a new high and you're looking for the best points for the market to pull back into. Once you draw this, just know that the areas below the 50% is your discount zone, right? So it is the best zone to buy. Of course, it's always a good deal to get something at a discount price, isn't it? Right. So it's the best zone to buy. So if you're looking at anything like right now, just focus on looking for opportunities below this zone for your discount buy. Now, if you're looking to sell, let me go to on that chart. If you're looking to sell, focus on the premium. That's these guys above. If you're looking to sell, your opportunities should just be in here, right? So let's say I'm looking to let me go down to like a lower time frame. What's my network? Okay. So I'm looking at this low to this high. Wait, let me just give a fresh. So I'm looking at, I saw a downtrend. Let me delete this. I saw a downtrend here. This is a strong downtrend. I'm looking for where the market to get back into before selling. Assuming this is like a downtrend and you just want to take your sell. Yeah. Um, if you go down to a lower time frame now, you can see a series of highs and lows, highs and lows, highs and lows. But let's say this is like a strong, just one straight high and low, right? This is simply what I'm gonna do, right? I mark this to this very point. If I am looking for a sale, if I'm looking for a sale, I would focus right here. I'll focus on looking for my opportunities above here. So I'll expect this market to buy into this zone for me to sell here. Now, my the next thing I'm to do, right? Hope you're following. Hope you're following. If it's not making sense, just let me know. Like if it stops making sense, just let me know. All right. What I'm gonna do is to simply look for opportunities to sell within this area. Anything below the area, I'm not interested. Right? It's just look for opportunities right here. So since I'm on the 5 minutes time frame, I would go down to a 1 minute time frame to see if I'm gonna see something that will say, okay, yeah, this is a good point to sell this very market. Am I seeing anything? Is there anything interesting in here? Man, these charts are so pum, 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 pum. And I say this area right here, this area might be a very good zone to just place my entry. And if you're so confused, if you're so confused, just place your entry at the 50% mark. Just place it there and wait for the market to come to you. All right. If you're so confused, as confused I am right now, leave your entry at the 50% mark. So now let's go into the past to see when or times Fibonacci has been used and it gave us something good. All right. 5 minutes. Look out. Okay. This was from last week, right? I was so confused in this particular zone that I had to mark out. Um, the market was ranging within here. I had to mark it out. Okay, since we are talking about just Fibonacci, is there anything else apart from Fibonacci, Princess? And are you following? Just give me a feedback. Let me know. Can you hear me? Is there anything else? And are you following? I just want to be sure. How to count piece? Now you're talking. All right. So let's deal with um so all right. So first off, this is like a clear, this is a downtrend, right? It might be confusing, but if you look at it, like you can see the trend. This is a low. Before the low started making sense from this particular point. So the highest point that gave rise to this low um could be this. You can say this high gave rise to this low gave rise to this high gave rise to this low, and like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. So if I'm to know where to expect this market to pull back to, you can simply say, okay, let me use this. This high, since this high is the one that gave rise to this lowest point, I mark it, right? As I've marked it, my only area of interest is areas above the 50%, right? And above the 50%, what am I seeing? Um I'm seeing an FVG, right? I'm seeing a fair value. I want to zoom out this thing so you can. This is just a 5 minutes. This is low, right? to sorry, this high to this very low. I'm looking for where the market can get, so I'll just sell. And if I'm saying I'm not shooting too much, I'm just selling to this, I'm selling to the low I'm seeing. I'm not looking for too much, right? Right? So my area of interest is just above this 50%. And once above this 50%, I'm already seeing an FVG. If I mark out this FVG, this is the FVG I'm seeing right now. So the simple thing I'll do is to choose, in fact, select the tip of the FVG because it is the, I don't know, the tip of the FVG is what is actually inside the 50%. So this is simply what I'm going to do. I'll go to my short tool, right? Mark it out. So okay, once the market gets here, I'll take my sell. Of course, my stop loss will be above this candle, or rather, let's say, you can set to choose just these highs just to be on the safer side, right? You're risking, you're risking 7% for 13 points, right? See that? You entered right here. This is your entry. Your stop loss, just the high of the last candle. Okay, what? So not seven, just the high, the candle that gave rise, above the candle that gave rise to the FVG, right? This particular one. That's where your stop loss is, just above that candle. You short for the low and giving yourself just few minutes, market hit your TP, and that's it, right? Now, if you decide to shoot again, you're like, you know what? This is a low, this is a high. You adjust your Fibonacci step. This is the highest point, and this is the new low. Where can this market get back to again? You select your 50% area. Your 50% is this zone. Now, if you're not seeing anything clear here, you can simply mark either half of this zone, like the 50% zone, can pick half of it. And if you decided to do that in this case, it will be something like this. Half of it will be somewhere around here, all right? Half of the zone we shoot, remember, we are aiming for this low still. And our stop loss will be above the candle right here. So we'll set it above here still, right? What happened? The market tapped into it. After a while, I think after a long while, give us our TP. Now, in this case, let me use two birds to kill one stone. Right? Sorry, let me use two stones to kill a bird. Right? You're talking about how to calculate pips. Now, this is your stop, right? That's why this actually helps you. Your entry price is let me see if I can type it out. Look at this. So your entry price is in fact, the price is even here on the body. But let me extend this thing so that it is you can see the price. Let me extend it out here. Right. So your entry price is this mark, just above 4867, right? So let's say entry price is 4864. Entry 4864, right? SL. Your SL, according to your entry here, your SL is no, your SL is 48. You know, whenever you draw this, of course it gives you the price at this very point. Your TP is actually 4853. All right. Your SL is 4869.6. So you can assume, you can also approximate it to 4870. So let's say 4870. Yeah. And your TP for gold, this is just for gold, right? TP is 4853. 4853. You can simply start calculating with start doing the mathematics with your calculator, right? If my entry is 4864, my TP will simply be 64 minus 53. That's like 11 points, right? 11 points. And 11 points is like 110 pips, right? 11 points is 110 pips. So this is how to calculate pips right now. Yeah, it's even right here. If you look at this, what are you seeing here? 5.3 pips, 5.3 points anyway. Right here, the target is 11. So anytime you see 5, just add extra 0 to the back. Is 50 pips for gold, right? For the target, if you see 11, 110 pips. And the equivalent of this um in dollars, when you take this trade on your MT5, right? Off heart, off heart, using 0.01 lot size, the lowest lot size you can use, what you get of this trade is $11, right? $11. What you're gonna get of this trade is $11. If you're to lose, what you're losing, but the SL, let me add, the SL is, let me just add it. Of course, 64 minus 70, it should be 666, right? 6 points, 60 pips. Right? And TP. Yeah. So with this, with 0.01 loss size, you are losing only $6 here, and you're making $11. With 0.1 lot size, you're losing, if you're to lose this trade, that's $60. If you're to hit TP, just like we did here, $110. With one lot size, this is $600, and your TP is like $1,100. That's $1,100, right? So that's how to calculate your pips. Because if you can understand your pips, right, or the right. So you're following, right? Yeah. So you've seen how to calculate these pips. Now the same thing applies to I trade gold majorly, yeah. Same thing applies to, let's say you decide to trade, let's clear all of this. You decide to trade are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this? Now it's actually respecting this particular area. And of course, I'm talking about something else. Now this is for this is for poetry, right? So this is like you can see a clear downtrend, right? So I've forgotten where I mark this thing self to respect. 4798. I wouldn't want to just rush into this trade, yeah. Based on what this Fibonacci has showed me, it might get in here, it might not, basically, right? But um, this is the system. I'm already getting, this is 630. I mark this zone. It's respecting this zone still. I will know if if it's still gonna break, if it's still gonna buy, right? So I'll just share. So if I see a very strong push, more like a break of structure here, if it gives me that buy momentum, I can't help but enter the trade regardless and see where it takes me. Let's see where it takes me. So back to pips calculation. Um, let's if you trade US stats, just like the trade we took today on US stats, right? Now, if you trade US 30, first of all, okay, US 30 has been pumping up as well, trying to cover this whole damn gap. That is crazy. Now, if you attempt to cover this gap on US stats, that means you're trading from this point to this very point. So let me mark out this area. First of all, we'll know how many points from here to here actually is, right? And what is worth this your ruler you're measuring to, right? So I'm gonna draw it from where the market is actually to. So this is quite easier. This is simply 346 points, right? Same as 346 pips, right? So this is 49062 to 49409. If you do this is like loss of move basically, right? So for US 30, if you I think the calculation is still the same. If you enter with 0.01, this move is gonna give you the move is gonna give you $34. Yeah. With 0.1, it's gonna give you $3.6, right? With one lot size, we're looking at three 3,460 dollars. But this is to know it, right? So if your stop loss is like 100 points, you see in this case, we didn't add extra zero to make the pips, right? The number is the number, right? There's no addition, there's no subtraction, right? So this is how to calculate your pips. Same thing with let's check out Euro USD. Euro USD. Um Euro USD is tanking downwards. So the market moved from this point to this highest point. So to know the number of pips or points covered from here to here, it's just that's 2 pips, right? See it right here. This if you use your measuring tool, it's gonna be that. If you use your, let's say, long from this point to this high, that's it. Same number here. After the percentage something something something, this is it. So you are risking if you are taking this trade, let's say um you're risking 8.2 pips for 32. And that's like the risk to reward. And also to know your risk to reward is 3.4, right? So if you decide to make it exactly 4 risk to reward, we have so what you are risking, you're aiming to make times 4 of whatever you're risking. All right. So aiming to make times 4 of whatever you're risking. That's about it. Does it make sense? Like, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Right, right. So I think I'll just get in for a buy right now. I'll go in for a buy right now. Okay, it's even respecting